very, very capable of shooting huge numbers.
Duane Hatton, he was on about 6 years ago, bowling against Nick Vogelgesang, and guess what? He defeated him, 240-something to 210.
Well, we've got a lot of talent here on the lanes, a lot of revolutions, and a lot of competitive spirit. Nick Vogelgesang, right-hand lane. This is the Western Bowl qualifier.
Oh,
unbelievable.
Wow. But of course, the rack will not pick it up because it's moved so much off of spot.
Well, the rule is here, Jen, if the rack, of course you know this, watch it here on the replay, folks. If the rack, now this is the 5-pin, so keep your eyes middle of the screen, second pin back. Watch this. The 5-pin stands. It's rocking, it's rolling, it's twisting, it's moving, but it stands up. Now the rule is, if it falls down, it's put back in its original position. Yes, it's still up, Nick. If it falls, it's put back in its original position, which would be the 5-pin spot. As it is, it's a cross-lane spare of unknown origin.
Boy, that's amazing. Something hit it twice. What's the chances of that not falling? You can see it here on King of TV Bowling.
We've had it all over the years. Nick Vogelgesang, left-hand lane. See if he can knock down 10 in this time. And I'll tell you what, when you put 10 in a pit and every pin does its job, it will be a strike.
Nick Vogelgesang has so much experience, more so than probably anybody we've seen on television. I'm not sure how many times he's been on, but tremendous amount of experience. Duane Hatton, of course, is one of the greatest bowlers in the city right now. And that is why such a clean roll on the ball.
Doesn't really give that quick, big arc that you see in there. Age 28, averaging 229, 770. Second TV appearance. It seems like more. 7 300s and 4 800s. That's the impressive thing. 800s. It's a lot of work to get to 8-0 anything. Got that ball in,
Look
Jen.
out. Duane lives over in Ellesmere, Kentucky, bowling out of Western Bowl, averaging a high average of 229 and a low average of 220. Started bowling at the age of 6. And how do you get good? You bowl 4 times a week. Repetition, repetition. You learn to know your equipment, too. Power torques, critical masses, sensors, pro rhinos, phroneses, you name it.
Cross lane for the 610 and brings it back easily. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Pepsi, making those delicious drinks that are in my refrigerator and should be in yours all the time for the kids and myself. Nick going out and doing what he does so well, but not getting the pin action, or at least the results from the pin action that we're used to seeing, Jen.
I'm always so impressed at the speed that Nick gets on the bowling ball. He makes it look like it's a puny little nothing as hard as he throws it. It takes a lot of strength because that ball is 16 pounds.
Early on in this game, Duane Hatton having an 8-pin lead at this point, but with these two bowlers, it's so early that really doesn't matter. It looks close. Yes,
wow.
It is close. The appreciative fans, watch a rip rack strike. We talk about the power. Watch Nick's ball enter the 1-3 and just keep going left. Keep going left. There we go. The 5-pin into the 7. Deflected a little bit more than I thought it would, but it's still, the action was there to get the 7-pin. Duane Hatton, right-hand lane, wants to come back with the same thing.
Very snug 4-pin, keeping it in a good area. Duane has a sponsor here this morning, Julie Hoffmeyer. She's a probation officer, also a girlfriend of my brother Chris Hoinke, and she's all excited to watch Duane bowl this morning because she's got some interest in it.
Yeah, at least a dinner, right?
At least. If not half of his winnings, that's what I'd go for.
Yes, you have. Cross lane for the spare. No problem for Duane. Going to move to the left-hand lane and see if he can start mounting up those strikes. Duane gave us a bio that was probably the most in-depth bio I've ever seen in my life. Tells us about everything in the world, but Western Bowl, since it's the Western Bowl show, is part of what he talks about, and that is the Super Classic, Jen. He did quite well.
Yes, he did. Bowled against Mitch Jabzinski, who went on to win it. And he was also on the same pair as Rudy Kazamakis from New York and Brian Himmler. So that had to be an interesting match going on that pair.
Well, I remember the match. It was right in front of the main desk, and you couldn't move.
I bet.
There were more revolutions on that pair than than you can find anywhere else in the bowling establishment. Nick going light, going with the shaker, and for a moment there leaves the 4-10. Breaks down the 4, leaves the 10 pin only. There you see Nick, age 29, averaging 227, 745 to qualify. 25th appearance. That's as best as we can estimate. Might be more.
Sparing up easily. Going back to the left lane where he's striking with more regularity. As a matter of fact, the second and fourth frame he struck both times. So that's his good lane. Let's see if he can do it again.
It's close. Oh, ringing 10. Nope, not today, Nick.
Just not getting the breaks so far, David.
Well, you know, very reminiscent again of the match that you were in against Mr. Bonnert last year. The guys that throw the pins around live and die by pin action. And the same thing that happened to Bonnert last year is happening to Nick right now, and that is that the pins are flying, but they're missing.
That's right. There's Irv Hoinke to the right there. Proprietor at Western Bowl. Owner of the world-famous Hoinke Classic.
Duane Hatton, right-hand lane, really puts it into the ball. It's right there. What a great shot that was. There's Irv Hoinke. We were talking about him. A great promoter of the game of bowling, as well as all the betting house boys.
Jerry and Dan on hand today.
Just promoting the game of bowling.
These guys love bowling, and they do love to bring it to you, and they do love to keep their centers nice and clean and family-oriented.
18 pins. Duane Hatton in the lead. Left-hand lane. Is he going to build it up? No,
Whoa.
He's going to give Nick a chance to come on back by leaving the very difficult spare. The 1, the 2, the 7, and the 8.
Yes, indeed, it is hot under these lights here, folks. Adds a little pressure to you, I'll tell you what.
Not an easy spare. Let's see what he can do.
Oh, not the kind of thing you want to do against Nick Vogelgesang.
There's several ways to miss this spare. You just watched one of them. He goes outside into the pocket area and trims off the 1, 2, 7 and leaves the 8 clean. Nick on the right-hand lane responds with a stone strike. That was great.
Well, now Nick has the right lane figured out. Now he's back to his good lane.
Is Nick excited about figuring out the right-hand lane? What do you think? Yes.
Yes. You are out of here.
80 points. I've got you now.
Now I can get a double. Yes.
And I'd probably bet $2 or $3 on it.
Yeah, you waited till it was halfway down the lane to figure out whether it was in the pocket, David. Don't go out on a limb too far.
Heck with Nick. As long as he keeps it on the right side of the lane, I'll bet on it.
Anytime that Nick's bowling, you can bet it's probably going to be a strike.
Well, that just jumped him into an 8-pin lead with a double on Duane's Open. That's how quickly the lead can change here on the BPA King of Bowling. But Duane's not going to go away.
Duane's setting it up with some foundation. The most important frames, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Folks, if you're anywhere near the match, just buckle down in that 8th, 9th, and 10th, because that's 90 pins in 3 frames.
What up?
Very quickly, things can change. But Duane is going to have to keep striking.
Absolutely, Jen. Again, it's a game of not of inches per se, but of deliveries. And this man, I guarantee he's going to leave nothing left on this ball. He strapped it, and the extra energy.
Ouch.
He pulls it, Brooklyn, and gets the maximum reward for a terrible shot. Watch it. Hangs up, goes left of the head pin. Watch it here. It's full. Caves in the 6 and the 10 late for a double.
David, keep in mind, too, that that last time on that lane 5, he did go light, so it was just a little bit of an over-adjustment. Nick smartly comes back off the approach after the telephone rings. Somebody's calling.
Yeah. Oh, no.
No.
What a fabulous
What is going on
shot.
here, David?
An unbelievable break. For a moment, he had the 4-10. Watch
Again.
it, folks. Just keep your eyes on the 4 pin, second one to the left-hand side of your screen, and the 10 pin all the way to the right. What happens here? Oh, that's a 7. I'm sorry. A 7 goes out late. The 10 gets jogged around. The 4 actually comes back into play, and Nick can't believe it. He thinks he's struck. Come on, what do I have to do these things?
Boy, that was a bad break after Duane got an extremely good break. And I'll tell you, when it's just one match, 2 good bowlers against each other, most of the time it's going to go down to who gets the breaks.
Well, in this particular case, I have to say, Nick Vogelgesang is not on the receiving end of anything.
And again, a good shot. A little weak, but it's just so much speed that he has, David.
Well, after that last frame and losing that hit, I'm sure the adrenaline kicked in,
Oh,
Jen.
I'm sure.
Duane Hatton, you're looking at him there, can go into the lead and win this game in the 10th frame. Not because Nick Vogelgesang did not bowl well.
I bet.
He did not carry well today.
Now it carries always in the fill ball. Isn't that amazing, David?
Certainly is. 207 for Nick to finish out. And Duane Hatton getting up on the right-hand lane. If he strikes on the first ball here, he should just about wrap it up. Let's see what he can do. Is this it?
It's there. Oh, and gets a little kick out of the 10.
Love tap 10 coming out of the channel, and a very gracious
Boy.
Nick Vogelgesang shakes his hand. 171 in the 8th. Any kind of pin count in the 9th. He finishes 2-0, 220 area, and defeats Nick Vogelgesang, but wasn't Nick's fault.
No, it certainly wasn't. Nick bowled a beautiful match. You win some and you lose some. That's all there is to it. But that's what keeps me coming back in this sport.
Duane going just a bit high and leaving the 4 pin, but no, never mind, as they say sometimes on the lanes. If he brings a spare back here, that's 220 to Nick's 207, and that's going to make him the winner in match number 2.
And Duane goes up 2-0 on Nick Vogelgesang. I don't know too many people that are 2-0 on Nick Vogelgesang on TV.
Hard to believe.
That's a good story.
But Duane Hatton defeating Nick Vogelgesang 219 to 207 goes on to face our king in the next match. Ron Bonnard waits in the wings. Don't go away.